I have learned some key information about the Sand Devil, and I have some amazingly sweet teams to share with you this morning. So buckle in, hit the like button, and let's go. What's up, guys? MtgJedi here, and we are talking Sand Devil today. I was telling everybody on stream last night that I had some amazing teams to share, and I'm very, very excited about this, okay? So the first thing that I want to tell you is that we are not speed farming level 25 here. Currently, that is not even possible. I can't even beat level 25, let alone speed farm it, so that is not at all what I'm talking about here. However, the good news is we don't need to do that. We don't need to do that, okay? And so until this content is brought down to the level that it should be at, we're not even going to worry about it. I'm not, because this is the hardest content in the game by a mile, by a ridiculous mile. I'm doing Nightmare Hydra. I have Bommel on auto farm. I mean, like, any of the other hardest content in the game is easy in comparison to this boss. And so, is it possible to beat it? Yes. Is it possible to farm it? No, not currently. Like, even like the best players in the world are going to have slow times on this boss. I really don't think there's even a way where we can, you know, there's no hidden gems that we're missing here as far as what I can tell. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe once this gets released to the community, you guys will be awesome and you'll figure it out. But I don't see it. I don't think it's possible. And I think that it's ridiculous. Frankly put, I think it's ridiculous. This is a dungeon, and the dungeons are supposed to be farmable. It is supposed to be interesting and different, okay? But the harder the content is, the less viable options there are. And that's one thing that I don't like. This is a dungeon. It should be farmable like a dungeon. We should be able to complete it in under 2 minutes. Currently, that's nowhere even possible, okay? And if I'm being 100% honest, like you can see, I haven't beat any of these. The last one I beat was stage 13, okay? And, I stopped, okay, so let me back up real quick before we get into the teams. I started by just fighting my way down through the levels until I got to 13, okay? I tried different teams, different strategies. I only have so much time in my life since I'm not full-time yet. You guys can help me get there by posting those likes and comments on the videos to help YouTube push it out to more people. But then after I hit 13, I started trying up here at 17 and some of these other levels, and I, spent more time trying to beat that content instead of fighting every single stage due to time, okay? Now, after I did all of that, I had a revelation. The revelation was we don't need any of these stages for a long time. We don't need any of these stages for a long time, and here's why, okay? You need 40, is that right? Let me double check that. Okay, so if we just take a look at a piece of gear here, we need 60 to ascend to the first level. And we need to do this test on 1,000,000 pieces of gear. So the potions or the oils that we need is mainly the little one for a long time. For a long time, okay? Like if I put this on here, I don't care about ascending this the rest of the way. It's flat HP. That does not help me. So then I'm going to go to another piece on him, and I'm going to ascend this one, and I'm going to test this one. And I got flat defense. I don't care about that. Okay? And then I'm going to go to another piece on another champion because I don't care about the top row either. I'm going to do the bottom row on like every single important champion, every single important piece of gear. Now, we did get flat attack there. That could be worth leveling up, but like not maxing out. We do not care about these flat stats as far as ascension goes. It is not going to be worth it to use your oil to level those up. So what we need is a lot of these potions. And then once we get, a good piece that we want to level up, then we need the middle potions. And that's going to unlock the majority of your gear, okay? Is just doing that a lot until you find your good pieces to invest in, and then Polarium's going to nerf this content, okay? Because it's just like way overtuned. So what we need for this dungeon boss is level 7 and level 11. And I'm going to be straightforward with you. We are going to be speed farming it, but we are going to be speed farming level 7 and level 11. Okay, and here's why. Level 7 is the best oil to energy ratio for the small ones, and level 11 is the best oil to energy ratio for both combined. If you can do level 11, I suggest doing that. If you can only do 7, then I suggest doing that. Because you can ascend a lot of gear if you just farm level 7. Okay? Level 8 only increases our maximum by 1, and then it increases our energy, so not worth it. Level 9, you could make an argument for level 9. I think it would be better to farm level 7 personally, but any of these stages would be perfectly fine to farm, especially if there's affinity concerns, which we'll get to in a minute. Level 11 is the best, in my opinion, to farm here because it is 12 for 9 to 10 and 3 to 4 instead of 8 to 10. And instead of 14 or what's the other one? 14, 14, 14, and then like you're only getting one more possible resource here on 16. And like I said, the content is just crazy hard, okay? But if we farm 11 and 7, not only are we going to be able to ascend way more pieces of gear, we're also going to be able to have really great times. So I'm going to go over these teams for 7 and 11 with you today in this video, and they are not free to play friendly in any way. But I will be coming out with a video in a couple hours from the time of this posting that will be free to play friendly. So come back, subscribe to the channel, and look at that content for you, and we will talk about those teams at that time. Let's start with stage 7. I put a lot of time into these teams, actually, and it was super fun. So on stage 7, we are going to be using actually this team right here, okay? Now, here's what you need to know about this team. Am I blocking any of this? No, okay, good. This team does not require any champion except Kymar. That's the only one, okay? And Kymar, if you want an endgame speed team, is going to be essential, okay? Just like you might think for lots of other content, Kymar is going to be essential. Can you do this with Yumiko or Renegade? I think so, yes. Will you have as fast of a time? No, okay? Baron is the absolute best here because he ignores their defense. Draco's the absolute best because he places the decreased defense and weaken and he hits hard. But any champion that does decreased defense and weaken is fine here. I'm not actually sure that Leo is the best option, but he's definitely great. And we can't really get faster than this time, I don't think. So I'm just going to use Leo. But I have some ideas of other champions we could use. For example, I think Mountain King would be great for this concept on 7 and 11. It's just you wouldn't do 7 and 11. You would have to do like, a slightly different level because he's red and you don't want him to weak hit. Now Mordecai in this team is actually sweet. Okay, this ability here places HP burn and increase attack, and that's all I was looking for in my life. The turn meter manipulation is nice on him as well. It just slows the boss down a little bit, and you don't care about his HP. He can die. It's fine. So, on 7, we're just looking to put as much damage into the team as possible. So let's go ahead and see that run. It's pretty consistent with this quick time. I have yet to see it fail. So you're going to see Leo and Baron take chunks out of the boss. Draco did get an extra turn there. That's not essential, but you see 12 seconds. Okay, 12 seconds for 10 energy. We get 8 of these, right? And we need 60 of them for each artifact to test the artifacts and see whether or not they are viable. Okay, so my plan initially is to run stage 11, get the small and medium pots, and just start testing gear. Just start trying to find gear that's worth ascending. And of course, I'm going to start out by testing it on the champions I use the most on my account. Leo, for example. Kymar, for example. Baron, okay? These high-profile champions that you use in multiple areas of the game or in 3v3, Hydra, maybe your clan boss team, okay? Those are the champions you should prioritize with ascending their gear first, but eventually you're going to move on to other champions on your account as well. So, that team will go consistently at very, very quick, okay? We're completely ignoring almost all the boss mechanics here, other than we're placing a sleep on the boss to get the initial hit, right? To get the initial hit, we're placing a sleep on the boss, and that's basically it, right? That's basically it. That's the only thing that we're doing here. And again, this is very replaceable with whatever nukers you want. There's our best time. You just have to have enough damage. And I will say, I think that the speeds on this team are really helpful as well. Okay, so let's take a look at the speeds on this team and the builds, and then we'll move on to level 11. So with my Leo, we have him at almost 200 speed, 6.6k attack, 256 crit damage. His accuracy does not matter. Kymar, his speed does not matter as long as his accuracy is over 400, I think. Actually, I think it could be less than that. I think it's 300 for stage 7. I don't know the exact numbers, but they will be data farmed. He does not need this speed or this accuracy. You're just going to use whatever your arena build is for your Kymar. My Baron has some of the best gear on my account. So he's at 6.7, 261, 185 speed. The Draco is my clan boss Draco. So he's in Relentless, 5.6k attack, 230 speed. This is just the build that I have for my clan boss team. And then Mordecai, you just want him to be, over 200 speed probably. That was my goal. And then, you can see he only has 260 accuracy, so we're perfectly fine. That actually could go up a bit just to be a little bit more consistent, but, in this team, his HP burn is not important. I didn't even change the gear on him. This is the gear that's been on him since, I, was progressing in Faction Wars a year ago or something, okay? So there's that. As far as masteries go, you actually don't want War Master, and if it was affecting my time, I would remove that from this team. As of right now, War Master and Giant Slayer cause an extra hit, which decreases the boss's counter, and that's stupid, and that should be changed immediately, okay? Everybody's booked. I don't know if that matters, but everybody is booked, so I guess Kymar being booked is important because of his cooldown. Not on level 7, but when we get to level 11, I think he sleeps multiple times. So anyway, let's jump into the level 11 team because it's a bit different. And this jumps up to about 30 seconds here. But 30 seconds is still great, okay? This reminds me of Spider 20, okay? In difficulty. Now, we're going to use those same damage dealers. We are going to use my Leo and my Baron. Instead of Mordecai, I'm using Seeker here. We want a little bit more damage. I think I stole the gear from Seeker, so give me a minute to put that back. Okay, that wasn't bad. I just stole his boots. So, Rio has been the key to victory in this team. And if you don't have Rio, then you're gonna have to try a little bit harder on this team, okay? However, the other champions, like, you're gonna have a Seeker, okay? But the 2 damage dealers can be whoever you want. It's just, I think Baron is the best. Again, same idea with Mountain King and whatever other high-profile nukers that you want to use is probably fine, okay? You'll need to test it, of course, but, you know, I don't think that it really matters whatever damage dealers you want to use. Rio is super important because I have her in a shield set, and she's going to place the decreased defense, weaken, HP burn, all of this stuff, and the decreased crit rate. It's just like her kit is very specifically awesome for this boss, okay? And I think we should probably be using her in our upper level teams once the boss gets nerfed and we can make like reasonable level 25 teams. I think Rio is going to be one of the best champions for this boss. So if you have her, you should start getting her leveled up or geared for this content. So let's jump in and see the team here. And then I'll show you the gear on these champions as well. It's going to be the same kind of setup where Kymar goes in. You'll get some damage out of the Seeker. We have all the things from Rio, Leo, and then Baron. We reset. You can see big chunks from Seeker. He's has the decreased defense blessing, which I think is pretty important. And we'd be dead right there if it wasn't for the shield set on Rio. So the shield set on Rio proving to be pretty important. We got 31 seconds here, and not the best time, but very consistent right around 30 seconds, okay? Now, let's take a look at the speeds and gear on these champions, and then we'll wrap up the video here. So, Leo is the same, Kymar's the same, Baron's the same. Rio is in a shield set plus immortal, and she does need to be faster than everyone except Kymar. She needs to go second, so I have her at 230 speed. She has a healthy amount of HP. If I'm going to use this build in other areas, I will need to work on the accuracy a lot, but for this level 11, 346, I've never seen it get resisted, so that's going to be more than enough. And then Seeker over here is built for damage, and he is just in my clan boss team, so he's only has 3.5k attack, which is actually good for him, or decent, but 254 speed, 264 crit damage. If I could get Rio faster, I think that actually would speed it up, so that will be one thing I'm working on and testing out. I think maybe we could shave a couple more seconds off of the time if I make Rio faster than Seeker, okay? I've also considered putting damage on Rio, but a guy only has so much time in his life, okay? So what do you think of this concept and these teams? Let me know in the comments below. I really love hearing from you guys in the comments about what you have to say about the videos. Your feedback is very important to me. So have some peace about this content, at least to start with. we can focus on level 7 or 11 for a while until we find out what are the good pieces of gear, what do we need to invest in, right? Just like blessings. Oh, speaking of blessings, we want cruelty on somebody. Like Seeker has cruelty here. This is great. This is really great. Cruelty is a very good blessing for this boss. And speaking of blessings, like a level 1 blessing goes a long way on a champion, and that is going to be the same thing for these early level ascensions as well. Thank you for watching. I'm MtgJedi. We'll see you guys in the next video. Have a great day.